You mentioned, Brandy, earlier that you have your calendar and your to-do list together.
Yes.
Uh, One of the things is could you explain what would be a problem in putting the task into a calendar versus and keeping it in the calendar versus having it on a to-do list?
Absolutely. So more so right now in my calendar, it's tasks. It's not my to-do list. I have a completely separate document for my to-do list, because then if my to-do list doesn't get done in that week, then I'm going back and forth between calendar pages trying to find what I missed. Whereas if I keep my to-do list separate from my calendar, then I don't have to flip back and forth. I can see what's been done. I can see what's coming in priority lists. But if I keep my to-do list in my calendar, then it's flipping back and forth, and then you get to right here. I have a bunch of projects right now and we're going into February. So I'm flipping back through multiple pages to try and find things, and then having to move them and transfer them to a new section. So in my calendar, it's more my tasks that get written for the day, but my to-do list is a separate document. That way I don't have to flip back and forth and get confused and lose things.
That's really interesting. One of the things that when I teach, I always teach because I always use technology. So you're talking about paper pencil, which
Yep.
a lot of people, many people use, maybe more people than use the technology.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're doing the technology thing, one of the keys is that if you are using your calendar as a place to put your tasks, your to-dos, it can get really overwhelming because like you were just talking about, I have to go from here to there, back and forth. Well, in an electronic format, what happens is if I didn't check something off for today, it doesn't automatically move to tomorrow, right?
Yep.
And so you actually end up losing track of what you were supposed to do and didn't, or
Yes.
also what you were supposed to do and maybe accomplished because you're combining really two completely different
Yeah.
systems into one. And it's kind of a different approach. I can't tell you how many people Kristen and I have talked to over the last number of years where they make that combination. And especially after their brain injury, they just are confused by it because they think they had written something down, but they can't find where it was.
Right.
And it's because it was on Monday's date and the calendar is now only showing, Thursday or
Yeah.
whatever it might be. Yeah.
Yeah. I started this year trying to keep it all in one calendar, um, because my new calendar provided that option.
Mm.
And what I found was I was missing huge things. So right now my students are virtual and I'm sending things home. Well, I was forgetting to send things because it was in last week's to-do list.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm now looking at this week. So I thought I went through all my to-do lists that I'd already written down and put them on a separate document because I was missing sending things to my students.